Guys, this is our revision for additional maths. This topic is quite simple because it's a view, it's about trigonometry and also derivative, that's all. But the hardest part is the details. Okay, I will show you how to do this easily. So list all the special acute angle trigonometry. So how do you do this? If you want to solve this answer, this sine cos tan, what you need to do is memorize. Okay, so this is the set of the table that you need to memorize, and then you need to know the quadrant theorem. I think I need to use the other color, red color, to make sure that you understand that this is the theory. So this is the first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. And all positive, sine positive, tan positive, cos positive. And then the rules for this quadrant is 180 subtract angle or alpha or theta, anything. This is 180 plus alpha. This is 360 minus alpha, right? And this will be alpha itself, or the angle itself. How about, Mr. Hans, how about if I put 90 plus alpha? Yes, you can, but make sure that 90 plus alpha will change the value of the trigonometric rule. I think we can skip that for a while because that is not in our final exam. Our final exam is only using the unchanging trigonometric value. Okay, there you go. The angle is 0 here, 90, 180, 270, or 360. Okay, now how do you solve this? Memorize. So radian. So from degree to radian, what you need to do is divide by 180 and times pi. So 0 times anything is 0 itself. 30 divided by 180 is 1 over 6 pi, right? And pi over 4, pi over 3, pi over 2. Sorry, the handwriting is not so good. I will make it a bit nicer. More nice. Pi over 4, pi over 3, pi over 2. And then the value of the sine 0 is 0, and then you go up 0, half, square root 2 over 2, square root 3 over 2, 1. And cos is the switch version of sine. It's going up here. See? And tan will actually is sine divided by cos. But I think you better memorize. Okay? If you memorize, you will get more easily to do. Now, go down. Question A. If I have 120, 120 is not an acute angle, you need to change into this part, and you know that this is second quadrant. Second quadrant sign is unchanged. 0 minus 30, quadrant 4. So quadrant 4, the value of tan will be negative because the positive is occupied by cos. So the minus becomes plus, right? And then second, what is second? Second is 1 over cos. Why I put 1 over negative cos 45? Because it is on the third quadrant. The third quadrant value of the cos is negative. And you just look at the last digit here, last number and last angle. So you solve this. I forgot to put, I think it's corrupted. And then sine 60, you put this. You put the sine 60 on the table that I already provide here, and just multiply. So why I put this as negative as square root 2 over 2? Because you just change the position, right? So I think we just can write like this, and then you multiply by cos negative cos 45. That's it. So that's the way you find the negative 2 over this negative square root 2 over 2. And after you solve this, so over 4, you just do the multiplication rule, the rainbow rule like this, you will get this, and this is your final answer. Right, how about B? The B, you need to memorize the formula. Sine square plus cos square is always 1. Sine square theta plus cos square theta is always 1. So this is the shortcut, right? And then second 135 is cos 1 over second is cos 180 minus 45. And this is second quadrant. Second quadrant, the value of the cos is negative, right? Then put cos 45 and the answer will be negative square root 2 over 2. Now, this is piece of cake, fx. So y equals a times sine bx plus c plus d. Remember, a is the amplitude, b is to find the period. You get 2 pi over b. C is the horizontal shift, and d will be the vertical shift. I think it's very simple, not too hard, in my opinion. But this is very easy also. The amplitude is 3, so you just focus on this. The period 2 pi over b, this is the b 2 pi over 2, so pi itself. And how do you sketch the graph from pi until 2 pi? So from pi until 2 pi, so since we know that the period is the pi and it is cos, the mother formula of the cos will be like this, and then this is 1, negative 1, right? But in this case, we have the amplitude of 3 and the period of pi, so one wave is pi. Second wave is this. So this is what you draw. Make sure that the drawing is nice. Okay, as nice as possible. That's it. Now, next question. Given the graph of the trigonometric function, so this is the graph of sine, right? Start from 0, but we know that it is vertically shifted because it's not start from 0. It is start from negative 1. And how many period? We don't know the period. The period is unknown. It's so hard to determine here because it's here. So the A is very simple. The amplitude is 2, right? This is the amplitude. Remember, amplitude is the distance between the middle part of the curve to the furthest part, 2. It cannot be negative 2. Amplitude is always positive, right? And then we know that this is 3 waves, right? 1, 2, and 3. 3 waves is 2 pi. So 1 wave is 2 over 3 pi, as simple as that, you divide by 3. So you know that 1 wave is 1 period, right? 1 wave is period. So to calculate b, 2 pi over period. Why? Because period equals 2 pi over b. You just switch the b and the period. So b equals 2 pi over period. So 2 pi over 2 over 3 pi, you can cross the pi, and then 2 times 3 over 2, just do the simple multiplication of fraction, 3. How about C? C is the vertical shift. Actually, it's supposed to be on 0, but it's going down by 1, so the C is negative 1, very simple, right? You don't have the horizontal shift anymore. D is the vertical shift. Why? Because it is not inside the angle. Okay, next. Prove this trigonometric identity. This is quite simple. Sine square plus cos square equals to 1. So anything multiplied by 1 is 1, right? Anything multiplied by 1 is the number itself. And then we're done with this, sine square minus cos square, but it's not done yet. We have to focus on the sine square. So you have to change the cos square, becomes 1 minus sine square. So cos square becomes 1 minus sine square. I do the highlight so to make it more simple to you to understand. And sine square minus sine square is 2 sine square, and it's proven, right? So it is clearly proven. Okay, so next, derivative. Okay, we start to go to the derivative. So this is the multiplication rule. What is the rule? If I have y equals u times v, function times function, the derivative is uxn v plus u vxn. I put this. This is for the list. You can do the best. Done. You cannot stop here. You have to finish until its simplest form. Okay. Now this, okay, what to do? This is the division rule. So if I have y equals u over v, the y xn equals u xn v minus u v xn. Okay, over v squared. I'm sorry, almost forget. And you can go down by yourself. I put an arrow. You have to do it by yourself until the top side at least is expanded form. In expanded form harus sampai selesai semua ya, atasnya bawah sih nggak apa-apa. Oke, jadi bikin sendiri nih ya, nggak bakal bikinin lah, enak banget kayak masa lu mau gua kasih lepehan gitu kan, ini aja yang kunyah, yang makan, lu tinggal ambil dari muntahan aja kan nggak jijik ya itu ya, mendingan lu bikin sendiri. Oke, next, this one, the gradient, no. Okay, now, what is gradient? Gradient is f accent of something you derive, right, or dy dx. I want to find this. Gradient or m is equal to dy dx. I put the formula, see, I put the formula in detail. 2 times 3 going down times 3 minus 1, power 3 minus 1 minus 2. We go down here, 2 times x power 2 minus 1 and then plus 3, 3 itself, and 1, 0. Because 1 constant derived to be 0. And I simplify this, and you get the gradient. When x equals 3, so you put f accent 3. You do it by yourself. Udah angka doang jawabannya ya. 6 times 9, ya, berapa tuh? Ya, dan seterusnya ya, and so on.
Sir.
Yes, Kevin?
Untuk yang derivatif yang dibagi tadi, itu boleh di cross dulu nggak ya, Sir?
Yang ini?
Ya.
Ini sama ini maksudnya?
Habis itu di cross.
Enggak,
Sir, yang atas.
Oh, yang atas? Bentar ya, sorry ya. Tunggu, aduh, berantakan, hancur. Wait. I do that one more time. 3x ux and v plus 5x ini square. Yang atas lagi ya?
Yang 2x plus 3
ininya.
pangkat 2 itu boleh
Bisa.
di...
Kevin mantap nih. Yes, mantap banget loh. Di factorize dulu kan?
Iya, boleh gak, Sir?
Boleh banget justru. Malah lebih bagus. Ya, malahan lebih mantap dia. Ya, thank you Kevin. You can do this as well. Terus lo u-nya jadi 2 minus plus x. Nanti sama lu lihat aja, nanti jawabannya sama. X-nya hilang nanti. Ya. Good Kevin? Oke, catatan. Thanks to Kevin. Oke, lanjut. Ya, good job. Nggak kepikiran loh itu. Tadi udah ini ya. Nah, do it yourself yang ini. Nah, next question. Find 2 stationary points. What is stationary points? Stationary points is where the f(x) and x equals to 0. This is the stationary points. Okay, well, turning points. Yeah. So f(x) and x equals to 0. You just divide. You just multiply this. Become 3x squared minus 3x minus 10, and then you can solve it by factorization. You factorize the number. You can do factorize. Kalau nggak bisa diapain? Pakai formula A, B, C. Ya, inget nggak yang minus B plus minus square root B square minus 4AC over 2A. You can do either one. Mana yang lebih lu pilih? Atau mana yang soal yang bisa di factorize, mana nggak bisa nggak? Oke, x1-nya jadi 5 and negative 2, right? So, tapi dia minta points, guys. Jadi bukan cuma x aja. It's not only about the x. You need to find the y. Masukin ke sini. Lu kerja sendiri. Kebanyakan. You can use calculator, by the way. So, calculator can be used. You just put the x as negative 2 in this equation. Kalau negative 2 dapatnya yang ini. Kalau 5 dapatnya yang ini. Okay. Make sure that you understand that. Next. Okay, now we are finding the tangent line. So tangent line, again, it's the same. You need to find the derivative. But kita cari namanya tangent line kan, at least equation kita punya gradient x, y, and the point, right? So when x equals negative 1, you better find the y first. Masukin aja f negative 1 berapa, taruh ya di sini. And insert here. You will get 1. Okay, so the gradient is, the point is 1 negative 1 comma 1. And what is the gradient? The gradient is fxn, right? To find the gradient, fxn x, or the derivative, 3x squared plus 2x plus 1, right? Plus 4x plus 1. And you put negative 1 inside. Why? Because x is negative 1. You put inside, oh, 0. Aduh, gradient 0 kayak apa ya? Gradient 0 itu straight line. Straight ini, horizontal nih, m equals to 0. Udah gampang banget. M equals 0, y equals mx plus c, because it is asked for the equation. The m is 0, x is negative 1, c is something that you need to find. So 1 equals 0 plus c, so c equals 1, as simple as that. So you put y equals 0x plus c, so y equals 1 itself. That's all. This is your equation. Oh, kok nggak kayak y equals mx plus c? Karena x-nya nggak ada. Simple. Ya. Jadi kalau ditanya ini gambar. Okay. Now pay attention of this, the normal. Again, you can find the gradient first, or you can find the y. I think I can find the y first. 2 times 2 square, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then you put 7. You get this, 2 times 2 cube, and so on until finish. You just insert here, you get 7. The point then will be 2, 7, right? There you go. This is the point. The gradient, careful, the gradient is negative, the derivative 6x squared minus 4x minus 1, right? And then you get 6 times 2 square. Nah, salah kan gue. Untung aja gue. 6 times 2 square, 24 jadinya. 24 minus 8 minus 1 is 15. Okay, so this is 15. So the gradient of the tangent is 15 and the normal is negative 1 over 15. Okay. So you put the m negative 1 over 15, salah semua tuh. Udah, buang aja. Kita bikin ulang ya. This is x, sorry. X-nya kayak n. So negative 1 over 15 times 2 plus c. Y is 7. So 7 equals negative 2 over 15 plus c. So the c would be 7, 2 over 15. Gue udah malas hitung pakai this fraction biasa. So back to its original. The m is negative 1 over 15x plus 7, 2 over 15. Okay, next. Differentiate. Ah, ini capek nih. Soalnya apa? The sign use the chain rule, right? So the u, ayo ulang ya, tulis ulang lagi biar lebih enak. U equals sin square 3x. So the u xn is 2 times. Ini lu differentiate power chain rule. Pertama, kita differentiate power dulu. And then trigonometric. Baru inside. Lu perhatiin. Powernya 2, ya udah 2-nya lu turunin, sign-nya jadi sign doang kan, 2 minus 1 3x times by the trigonometric value of sign, the derivative of sign is cos, the second chain, right? This is the first chain, the power, second chain is trigonometric value, third is the inside, the angle, 3x differentiate by 3, right? Jadi 6 ya, 2 times 3, 6, sin 3x times cos 3x. Nah yang cos 2x lebih gampang, powernya kagak ada, ya udah langsung cos becomes negative sign, right? Ingat nggak cos jadi negative sign? Pokoknya kalau differentiate sign jadi cos jadi negative sign, tan jadi second square, right? Hafalin ya ini ya, differentiate ini y, ini dy dx-nya. Okay, dan beres. So negative sign 2x times 2 berarti 2-nya lu taruh depan, and then you use the multiplication rule. Ini kayak udah selesai sampai bawah ini udah nggak bisa diapa-apain lagi. Ya udah bagus. Yes.
Itu kan bisa dikeluarin 3x lagi.
Ini
yang paling bawah.
Iya, good, bisa juga. Tapi ini
udah full point nggak?
Nggak, ini udah full point. Ini udah full nih. Ya.
Oke.
Kalau lu mau sin 3x-nya dikeluarin, bisa. Bisa juga. Tetap full point sama aja, jadi nggak ada perubahan. Sama tuh juga bisa itu, gitu ya. Jadi 3 cos 3x cos 2x minus sin 3x sin 2x. Yap, boleh. Tapi atas sudah cukup sih, udah expanded form, udah semuanya udah beres. Kita nggak factorize di sini, kita expand. Nah, yang ini yang stationary point, again stationary point is where the derivative is 0. Stationary point 2 sin 3x kan 2 times sin jadi cos 3x times inside, ini chain 1, chain 2 ya. Second chain berarti 6 times cos 3x. So 0 equals 6 times cos 3x, you divide by 6, you will get cos 3x equals 0. Nah, ini ada formulanya guys. Jadi ayo tulisin ya. Kalau sin x equals sin alpha, inget nggak yang ini? Alpha plus k times 360. Second, 180 minus alpha plus k times 360. Ini udah harus dihafal. Kalau cos, kita in this case we are using cos is equals to cos alpha. X equals alpha plus k times 360 or negative because it's the first and the fourth quadrant. Kalau yang 180 first and second quadrant plus k times 360. Kalau tan cuma satu. Ingat, ayo udah pernah ajarin kok ini, inget banget. Kalau ini cuma satu plus 180k. Kenapa bisa begini? Soalnya ini first quadrant, ini second quadrant. Ini first quadrant, fourth quadrant. Remember all sine tan cos. Ini third quadrant. Third quadrant is half of the circle. Right. So if I have cos 3x equals cos 0, is equals to 0, 0 is cos 90. Kita ubah dulu pakai yang acute angle formula. Dan kita bagi dua. Yang pertama yang 90, yang kedua yang negative 90. Until pi itu berapa? 180. Cannot be more than 180 degree. So if k equals to 0, you will get x equals 30. If k equals to 1, you will get the k as 120. And the second equation yang negatif ambilnya, k0 nggak mungkin ada negatif kan. Jadi jawabannya 30, 90, and 150. Degree semua ya. Tapi ini kan dia mintanya pi ya, nggak apa-apa juga. Lu mau gini juga nggak apa-apa. Pi over 6, 2. Atau pi over 2, negative 2. Sama aja. Aduh, 150 males kan. 2 over 3. No, bukan loh. 15 per 18 dong. 3 over 4. Itu kan bingung kan.
5 per 6 bener gak sih?
5 per 6 ya? Iya benar, 5 per 6 pi. See, thank you. 2. Kenapa tuh? Karena dia sin kan, formula awalnya kan sin, berarti dia gini kan. Ya. Sampai pi kan 3 over 3 pi. Dia kan dia punya period juga kan 2 over 3 gitu. Ini ya 2 over 3. Jadi ini 30, ini 90, ini 150 udah pasti. Ya. Oke, kalau mau begitu bisa. Ini rule-nya yang di bawah ya, panjang gitu. Oke, now a square base formula, cuboid has a total surface area. Ini kayak ngibul deh, udah lihat nggak kepake nih. Tapi kalau di exam ada kepake. Tapi ini enggak, ya kan memang mirip-mirip soalnya ya. Terus ditanyanya apa lagi? And the length of the side is xcm. Okay, we know that. This is a square base cuboid. Let's say this is x, the square, the base, right? And the height is 75 minus x square over 2x. Sebenarnya kalau di exam ini ya h-nya lu nggak ada. Pakai ini untuk nyari h. Nggak apa-apa, no problem, tetap bisa. You udah find the volume of x in terms of x. Volume is length times breadth times height. The height is given here. Ya udah x times ini udah beres kan. Ini height-nya. Terus lu cross x-nya. Jadinya begini. Terus gue malas lihat fraction, gue jadiin decimal. Ya, beres kan, jadiin decimal. 75 over 2, 37.5. 1 over 2 is negative 0.5. Right? X cube. X square minus x something x cube. X minus something x cube. So what next? X when the volume is to be maximized. Maximize is the differentiation of the units is equals to 0. Udah, gue taruh differentiate dulu. 37.5. Minus 1.5 kan, 0.5 times 3 kan 1.5. X square, jangan lupa ya. Okay, and then you put ini 0 because it is to be maximize. And then 1.5 x square, bla bla bla, lu dapat 37 ini lu kali 10 over times 10, right? You just make the decimal annihilated. This will be your answer. You need to use your calculator in order to find the specific answer. The unit is always cm, right? X kan side. Now ini harus mikir dikit. A company revenue, keuntungan of selling X units is given X. Our revenue of X is 1,600 X minus 2X squared. If sales are increasing at the rate 30 units per day, ini kan X-nya unit. Berarti yang 30 itu apa? Dx dt per day kan? Per day. Ya. How rapidly the revenue increasing when 200 units have been sold? It means the 200 unit is X, and what are we finding is the dr over dt. Kita nggak punya dr over dt langsung, adanya dr over dx, soalnya ini X kan. Ya udah pakai chain rule, ini formulanya. So dr over dt, since we don't have the dr over dt, you have to find dr over dx first. Dx dulu. You multiply by dx over dt supaya bisa dihilangin. Ingat ya, you can cross the dx, right? But in this case, I don't want to put the cross because it is the formula. Dr over dx berapa? Ya ini kan, 1,600 minus 4x. Times by the dx over dt that we already obtained, that is given on question, not obtained by the way, malah udah dikasih 30. So 1,600 minus 4x times 30. Oh, how do you do this? Rainbow. Ya, udah x-nya berapa? 200, lo taruh lah x-nya 200, hitung sendiri. Dollars per day unitnya. Soalnya how rapidly is the revenue increasing? How many dollars per day? Okay, next. Ini yang males capek. Ini isinya volume apa pakai? The volume of a closed cylindrical base radius of base radius x. Oke, ini radiusnya x di sini ya. And the height h is volume-nya 750. So the volume formula is pi r square times height. Base area times height. 750 equals pi times the r is x square times height. So the height will be, I just change the position of the pi and x square, 750 over pi x square. And then done. Number one done. Express the total surface area. Total surface area 2 times base area plus the curved surface. Ini curved surface area yang melengkungnya ya. Ini 2 base area. Nah, lo taruh 2 pi x square plus 2 pi times x, ya, height-nya ini udah tahu, kita di atas tinggal masukin. Terus rapihin, lu cross ini sama ini, pi-nya x square sama x-nya hilang, kurang 1 jadinya, so 1,500 over x. Over, agak susah lihatnya, jadi I ganti jadi begini. Jadi x power negative 1, right? And then, if A to be maximized, udah selesai nih B. Ya, expression aja, nggak harus jawaban, ada emang. If A is to be minimized, find x. Ya udah, A minimize, berarti lu tinggal area-nya tadi kan tulis ulang ya. 2 pi x square plus 1,500 x power negative 1. Lu mau pi-nya ganti 3.14 juga kagak masalah. Ya. So ini kan x square jadi 2 pi. Ini negative 1 kan. Ini jadi negative 1 x power negative 1 minus 1 negative 2. Ini. Ya. Lu rapihin dapat. Terus ini jelek ya. X square lu kali dua-duanya by x square. Right? You multiply by x square. So the fraction is annihilated. Udah. X cube, bentar ya, satu dulu untuk x cube equals, abisin dulu 1,500 over 4 pi, terus dapat cube root-nya. Oke, Anto, gimana?
Minimize itu derivative.
Minimize itu kayak stationary point, ngerti gak?
Apa sih?
Jadi gini, kan either maximum or minimum, itu pasti dia mintanya stationary point, waktu dia beloknya itu kalau di curve-nya. Ya. Jadi lu mau either maximize atau minimize, ini pasti the derivative dy dx-nya pasti 0. Gimana Anto? Get the idea?
Ya.
Oke. Jadi kira-kira begini guys untuk final exam at math. Gampang-gampang susah. Lu nonton lagi dah. Pokoknya lu tahu semua formula udah kasih. Beres 30 minutes. Kenapa saya bilang ini nggak kelar, karena udah cobain. udah cobain sebelum, wah kayaknya gue harus kerjain semua deh. Terus gue jelasin satu-satu. You can slower the video later on, ya.